Once again, good morning, good afternoon, colleague. Thank you for being with us today. Our first thanks goes to Ms. Viet Lan from Vietnam country office, who will be sharing us the country office experiences in how to communicate project and also results to the wider audience. Before we invite Viet Lan to share with us, let me take the opportunity to give you an overview of the need on this webinar, why the idea has come, and that we organized this webinar. You might have recalled during the recent implementation meeting that the global PAT meeting there has been a lot of challenges by the country office and also the technical assistance in terms of communicating projects and also results. So what are the problems caused and how we can also overcome it? Then we have also a very good tool, the website, but how has it been used? How are the information been posted for the last years? Let me share with you the overview of what we have for the last 2 years in the Poverty Environment Action website. So as you can see, we have under publications under the Poverty Environment website, we have 7 publications during 2020. I believe a lot can be put in the website, but this year we have only 1 publication from Myanmar country office. As of now, from January until August this year. We will be having more from Nepal, which we just received today. In terms of news, we have 23 news and events that we have captured from the 6 technical assistance and countries. You can see here, we have Bangladesh leading with 9 out of the 23 news, accounted for 39% of the news that we put in the website. From January until August this year, we have until now 12 news or events from the 4 technical assistance and countries that we put in the website. And again, Bangladesh, congratulations and thank you very much, Bangladesh country office, with a rating of 6, which is 50% of the news that we put. If you look at the data from last year and until now, we have countries with no news or events until now, while we are in the middle of the project implementation. In terms of stories, this year, we have initiated the 2021 series of the Stories of Change, where we have the global team work closely with country offices and come up with 8 stories. Again, from Bangladesh, we have 3. Please visit our website to see more stories that we have featured in the website. We are also working closely with country office and using the existing the photos that you share with us during the annual report time last year. We try also to take the photos that we have from the website and make the media gallery. And this is the work ongoing. Tanzania country office, thanks to also to Aman and colleague that please also validate information that we take from the annual report and we put in the website. And truly there are a lot of nice photos putting there, and we also try our best to put it in this website. Now we are in the middle of the project implementation, and some of the project will be going to be closed shortly. And as we just seen from the website, which is a very great tool for us to communicate the project and also the results under reported and acknowledged. With that, I would like to invite Ms. Viet Lan from Vietnam country office to share with us the experiences. And also after that, we have a discussion. You can also put questions with her on the challenges and also come up with a solution through the discussion. And the floor is now open, and thank you very much, Viet Lan, for your presentation.
Thank you very much, Lệ Lan. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Vietnam. It is now like 2 p.m. in Vietnam. I don't know what time is it in your countries. And it is sunny now, still sunny at 2 p.m. I guess that you also see the sun in many places, in your places as well. So greetings. Let me share the screen. First, share the screen. Just a minute. Can you see? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So I would like to show you a short video first, and then I will share some tips and tools so that you can promote communication in your work. I won't share the whole thing, but I'm going to just to play some part of this video. This, even though that is only about 4 minutes, but I don't want to take much of your time, so I'm going to skip some parts. So let's see from the beginning. So these are some texts. And then
Vitlan, we don't have the sound. Am I the only one who doesn't have the sound?
No, I am also not having the sound.
I do not hear the song as well.
I think I don't know how to make the sound. Sorry. I don't know how to integrate the sound.
I think it's because you are using headphone, so you were only having the sound.
Yeah, sorry. But the sound is just the music, the music, and also the presentation by her. So here by Genta Consi, she is an evaluation specialist from the Independent Evaluation Office of UNDP. And recently they have the IPCE for Vietnam. And I was very surprised by the result, because apart from the report, they also have a video and an infographic as well. So that is what I would like to share with you. I will send you the link of this video and also of the website of the Independent Evaluation Office, so that you can see a package of the report. So unlike the previous year, unlike previously, they just share the report only, but now they share the report in different form. So for example, this video, even though that from the communication perspective is not the best video, but at least it includes the key information from the report, from the findings of the mission, and it's also easy to digest. So for example, for people in the country office who are very much interested in seeing the finding of the report, then this work. But maybe for the general public, maybe it is not a compelling communication product yet, but this is a right move, a good move to the right direction. That is what I would like to share with you. And now coming back to, I will share with you my presentation. Can you see it now? Can you see my presentation now?
No.
Oh, not yet. Sorry.
You need to from the share screen and reshare.
Yes.
नारायणजीलाई पुरा गरे नारायणजीलाई किन गर्नु पर्यो त्यो गरे भइहाल्यो
So can you see it now?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah. So I will make it a slideshow. So today I will try to share with you about how to and what to communicate our work and our result, and what are the tools that you can use, and also some best practices. I understand that from Lệ Lan that before you have met with Cedric as well, and just last Friday, Cedric also provided a session for the UNDP Vietnam country office on how to write blog and how to write op-ed, and it's very useful for us. And I know that you have got a session from Cedric, so what I'm going to do today is just share with you from the trainee perspective, like how we can utilize those tools to maximize the effect of our work. So first of all, how and what to communicate. For example, you can see here, for example, Lệ Lan told me that, for example, if you have a training or a workshop, like an event, so what should we communicate? If after the field visit or after a period of evaluation, you have a report, so what should we do to communicate the result of the report? If you have a field visit, for example, then what we should do to communicate? So first of all, for example, if you have a training course or an event, should we just take a photo of the event and then tell people that we have organized that event in this day and what it focuses on? Should we do so? So before decide, we should ask, so what our audience would be interested in? Would they be interested in knowing that we have organized a training for those and those people on what topic? Are they interested in that one? Yes, maybe some of them interested, but most of them are not, they don't care. So maybe what we would like to communicate is what the trainees think about the training, or what the situation of the trainees before the training, and then after the training, what they think should help them, something like that. So the photo you see here is a photo of a Zoom meeting, and people tend to take photo like this and then post on social media or even post on the website. But what I would like to suggest is that we don't do this. Even though you take this photo, but just for record or so that we can remember that it happened. But what we will try to do is that to tell the perspective of the participants. or to tell the perspective of our representative, for example, like the head of UNDP or the head of or the ambassador who are our partner, or the head of the government counterpart, something like that. And also, most importantly, the participant perspective. So as much as possible, you please ask the participant, what do they think? Because for the stakeholder, for the ambassador, or for government, we may already have their speech, or even though they speak offhand, we may listen to them because they are in the podium. So you may easily just take note and then you have their quote. But for our participant, we need to ask them, and then they will tell you. So you need to ask them, but one of the tips is that you don't ask them what they think at the beginning. You may ask them about their work, about their daily life, and then after that, you ask them what they think about the training and what will they apply in their day-to-day work, something like that. So after asking and take some photo, then like portrait photo of them, then you may have a good card like this. And this is not difficult to do. This is done by PowerPoint presentation. So you may put the logo and the name of the training, and then you have quote from participant or from the organizer. So here are a couple of examples of the quote. And when you select the who to quote, maybe when you attend the training, you will see who would be interesting to quote them. So you will decide who to choose, but please pay attention to the gender balance. So you already have both men and women in the quote, in quote card. And next, about the report, as I shared with you in the video at the beginning, sorry that I cannot play it with full audio and visual. So for the report, this is not from my experience, but what I learned from the independent evaluation office is that you can use different forms to communicate your report. So for example, the video. And in order to have this video, we need to go back to the field visit. What I was discussing with Lê Lan is that we don't wait until the end of the, like after field visit, and then you write the report, and then after that, you do the video. But you need to involve video people, like calm people, or you can do it by yourself using an iPhone, a phone, for example. You can do it from the beginning. So for example, after your field visit, like you visit a country or you visit a project site, then on that day, you still remember a lot of things. You observe a lot of things, and like in the evening of that day, or as soon as you arrive home from the field trip, you speak to a phone. You can either record audio, or you record video. So either audio or video can work. So you record what you think, like what you have found from the visit. And if you would like video, then you can take a video against the landscape of the area that you have visited. So you speak, if you have a communication people to go with you, then he or she will film you speaking about what you found in that day, on that day. But if you don't have a communication people, then you can use your phone. So you can do like you selfie, you turn your camera back, and then you just speak to the camera, to your iPhone, for example. Today I visited 3 households, and what I found is that they only 2 of them two of the three benefited from the project, something like that. So you speak to the phone, and then you give that to your communication person. They will edit into a report, and it will be much more lively than the video that you have just seen from the independent office. But video is one of the form, and another form is you can use infographic. Again, infographic, we can either you can hire like a consultant, or your communication person can do it, or you can use PowerPoint to make it. It's not so difficult because now PowerPoint they gave us a lot of tools. They have the icon, they have the photo storage, everything. So you can, all these things you can use the PowerPoint to make it. So you will present the result of your finding of your mission in a very easy to understand way. And about the filmship, so one of them is to you film or you record audio of your own voice, or you film your own saying your own presentation on video. Another way is that you can interview like household or beneficiary, men, women, children. You can interview them on camera, or you can take their photo and like note down their quote so that you can use later in your report. For example, the report, you can have a box of case study, or a box of story, or photo of the people from the field. So that make your report more lively. And remember that when you interview or take photo of local people, you bring your own consent form and have them to sign. If they agree for you to take their photo and take their use their quote, then you are protected. Because sometimes, for example, for children, we should not take their photo without permit of their parents, for example. So those are the things that we can do with the event, or with the film trip, or with our report. And next, I would like to share some tools. Some of the tools I've already mentioned in how and what to communicate. And now I would like to focus more on blog and story. First of all, about the blog, because Lệ Lan told me that how we can communicate to people about our work. So blog can help us to communicate not until we have the result. For example, the project still ongoing and we haven't got the final result yet, but we can write a blog to communicate with people on what we think, what we are trying to do. So you may have heard before that the blog is what we try to talk with the readers. So before you write, you think about who you want to speak with. For example, in your case, you want to speak with donors, you want to speak with government counterpart. So imagine that you are trying to talk with them. So the blog is from your own. You speak about what you think, but with a view, bear in mind that you speak to your audience, to your government counterpart, to your donors. And sometimes you want to write blog and you want to speak to local people. So it depends on the purpose of your communication. So you talk to them in your voice and from your perspective. For example, you would like to, after the film visit, you write a blog to tell about what made you surprised during that film visit, what made you for example, after the visit, you find out something and you have some idea, you would like you have some idea how to change it, for example, then you write about it. So blog is very free, very freestyle. You don't have to pay attention to anything. Just write as yourself, like you write as what you think, and you'd like to present your idea, for example, if you see an issue and you have some idea how to change it, for example, in terms of the style and some tips is that the blog should be very short, like 500 words or maximum 600 words, and kish here means keep it short and simple. So you write in your own language, simple. You don't have to use like long sentences or complicated idea or something. You just write as you think. And you may want to put headline. If you see that there is some put headline, then you subheadline, then you may want to add subheadline so that to keep people on the screen. Because if after the first paragraph and if they see the text is still long, then they don't want to continue reading. But if they scan through the subheadline and if it is interesting, then they will continue reading until the end of the blog. Of course, avoid UN jargon, like we often said. It's easy to say, but it's not easy to avoid jargon, right? But so bear in mind that you should avoid it. And even a blog, if you have photo to go with it, that would be very good. Anything that you would like to present it in a very, very plain and simple language. I think that a blog is is personal, and it's a good tool for us to communicate to outside, because it's very light content and it's easy to digest. And when we share our blog on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, it is more personal and people will like it. People will read it and pay attention to it. So I think it's one of the way for us to communicate about our work, and we don't need to have to wait until we have the result. We can tell everything about our work, and through that people will understand what UNDP is trying to do. And another tool is story. So what is story different from a blog? Story is for story we need to have some result before we can tell story. And for story, we tell not from our perspective, but we try to tell the story from the eyes, from the angle of our beneficiary. So like in terms of the structure, a story can be, as you have heard before, a story can be like triangle. So issue, action, and impact. That can be a standard flow. And to describe the issue, you may want to use quote from beneficiary, because when you tell story, you tell from the angle of the beneficiary, not from our own angle. That would be more strong. And then how the project is trying to resolve the issue, and then for the impact, we don't say the impact, but we say the impact through the mouth of the beneficiary. So we need quote from the beneficiary as well, how the project has changed or has not changed their life, and what they hope for. Because sometimes we haven't really changed their lives, but they have some hope, because, for example, the project has taken place for 1 year, and maybe sometime it will take like 2 years for their life to really change. So, but if we can have the quote from beneficiaries saying that they see that UNDP is doing this and that, and they hope that their life will be better, for example. So that will be good. For example, like they say that they got a cow from the project, and they are now feeding the cow, and they hope that in 6 months they will have some income from selling milk from the cow, or they will have some income from selling the cow, for example. Then that can be a story. And in terms of the style and tips, story can be a little bit longer, like from 800 to 1000 words. But as you see that now with the internet, the shorter the better. When you write how to make your story compelling, then because we tell the story from the angle of the beneficiary, of local people, so please use those sentences. Please write sentences that bring the readers to the site. For example, what you see, like whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, or what you hear, whether you hear the cow, or whether you hear the water stream running, something like that. And what you feel, like you feel cold, you feel hot, you feel people friendly, or what you smell, like whether you have smell flower perfume, or you smell the grass or something. So you tell a little bit about it to set the scene and to bring people to the site. And then after you have the quote, as I said before, then you may want to use statistics, some data, to zoom out to a bigger picture, like how many people like her and like him, or like that family that you have visited, something like that. So make the impact larger. Use some statistic. And then for story, it's very important that we have photo or even the video. So for example, if you visit the field, if you have communication people going with you, then please ask them to make a short video. If you don't have communication with people going with you, you can just film like 15 seconds, 30 seconds of the scene or of the people that you meet or you see. That will make a difference, because when we post story nowadays, that there are many platforms for us to tell story, and those platforms like Medium or Exposure, they allow us to post not only text but photo, not just one photo but several photos, and video, not just one video but several video. So it will illustrate your story much better. And from my experience, both blog and story, you don't decide the headline until the end of the blog or story. So you just write it freely. Like for the blog, you write it freely, and for story, you write it issue, action, and impact, like the structure like that, from the beneficiary angle. And then after writing it, you will read again, edit your sentences to make it more simple, more short, and then you come up with a title. Because after you read your story, then you will have in mind better what you would like what title you would like, what headline you would like to put for that blog or that story. And then also my experience is that after writing, I would send it to my colleague to read it, because we tell from our perspective, but if you have a colleague, like a peer, to read for us, then you will be surprised. They will give us some comment that you never expect, and like they will be our first reader, and and their comment will help us to change, to improve it a lot. So that is some tips that I would like to share with you. So until now, do you have any question, or you would like to continue, and then we will have the like the discussion later? I just afraid that you just listen to my voice a lot and you may be afraid of it. What do you think? Shall we continue?
Yes, please. And it's very interesting. And thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights.
Thank you. So I will continue. I go halfway, so I hope that it won't be too long, and then we can discuss very soon.
Okay.
And yes, thank you. And yes, as I just mentioned, when you write blog, when you write story, when you choose photo, when you choose who you film video or something, always bear in mind gender sensitive. Because we are UNEP, we committed to gender equality. So always feature, when you want to feature some local people, or when you want to feature some quote, just bear in mind that you have both men and women in your story, or in your blog, or in photo, video, etc. And in terms of best practices, how we effectively use the tool and the effectively use tool and channels. So you can see here that we have some tools in order to communicate your work. Then, as I presented before, we have some tools in terms of text. You have blog, story, report, and boxes. But as you see now, we don't have a single thing, but we have multimedia. So even that a blog or a story, we still can have photo, we still can have video, and even though that your report, you still can add a video to present your report. You still can add infographic to present your report, and in the report itself, you can include video, photo of the scene, of the landscape, of where you come. For example, the report of ICPE report for Vietnam, then if you have a photo, a general photo of Vietnam, then you will bring people who read the report to the site, to the country. And also boxes of story in the report, like case study or story of real people in the report, it can be powerful. And also in the report, if you have chart, if you have infographic, that will make reader easier to follow your report. And I can see that nowadays some of the report, they have even photo and infographic and chart, even more than the text. Yes, but I understand that maybe in the M&E work, maybe you still need text to explain and to present your findings in a more exact way. But I guess that, I think that photos and infographic and story box still have. For internet, we can share photo, we can share video easily, but sometimes in some area, because we don't have the bandwidth enough, like the internet is not strong enough, so we can use audio. So that means, for example, you visit the field and you would like to tell a story, or you would like to share your initial finding on the video on social media, for example. I understand that for M&E work, you want to consolidate the result before you can share something, but you can tell about your work through social media by making a photo, like a recording yourself on camera, and say that today I visit this country, or today I visit this province, and I will evaluate the project, which is trying to improve the livelihood of local people, for example, or trying to the project trying to reduce the environmental degradation, for example. So that we can share with, and then you can primarily tell what you see there, not exactly the conclusion of what you find, what you're finding, but you can tell what you can see there. Yes, Heng, what you would like to say? I saw that you raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you very much, Whitland, for the presentation. And I just find it interesting when you are talking into detail about the story article writings. But my question would be, as we know now in the situation of COVID pandemic, have you have any like intervention or guides that actually apply during this time when you are writing a story, such a story that you mentioned? Whether we have any other approach than just going to the field and doing the story, or how would we, and especially with the review process and approval?
Yes, thank you very much for a question. That question, I think that this is what all of us has to deal with. So may I answer your question first, and then I will invite Tapona to have your question. So yes, in Vietnam, we are in Hanoi. The country office is in Hanoi, and it has been locked down for the third week as well. And many provinces in this country also locked down. And I guess that the situation in many other countries that you are in also the same. So we cannot travel to the field. So what we can do? So I don't have a best suggestion, but for example, recently, we try to launch an app for people with disability, and we organize the event online, like live stream. So organize the event so that as many people know about the app as possible, so they can download the app and use it. It is useful for the people with disability to register. But how we launch it without like opinion from the people with disability themselves, because they are the one to use it. So we need to show the audience that the app is very useful, and it has been tested by the people with disability themselves. So we have to phone, like we select KOL, key opinion leader. We select KOL among people with disability. So for example, like an athlete or Paralympic, or a person that has very good prestige among people with disability. And then we call them and we send them the app link, and then we ask them to download it and use it, and then we call them again and ask what they think about the app, and we record it. We call them on Zalo. In Vietnam, we have an app that that is the same like Messenger, that we can call with video, and then we record it, and at the launch, and then at the launch we show that short video about what they think. So I guess that in terms of story, you may want to do the same. For example, in those cases that you have local counterpart, for example, in the province you have counterpart, then you can ask them to facilitate it, like give you number of beneficiary, phone number of beneficiary, and then you can call them. And if they don't have the good phone that you can you can use the camera like a video call, then you can just record audio and then ask for a photo, like ask them to take a photo, or even though that you don't have photo of them, you can still share the audio. So so if you really need to tell, if you can wait until everything, the lockdown removed, then you can go to the field. But if you cannot go to the field at all and the lockdown is prolonged, then but you need to tell the story, then I think you can use different way to get the quotation from, like to get the quote from the real beneficiary. Do you have any? Do you think it will work? Or
Yeah.
you still have?
Yeah, actually, I have a follow-up question. And when you mentioned about the app, what really about the apps you are saying here? Is it app for UNDP Vietnam to promote the stakeholders to use it, or I mean, can you clarify on this app and whether it's a newly established or developed app for the purpose of very specific in the area of UNDP Vietnam supporting, or what is it?
Yes, this is, I just want to tell you a little bit about the context. In Vietnam, we have about 7 million people who are living with people with disability, So it's about 6% of the population. And but not all of them are supported by the government because of the registration system. Sometimes they live in remote area, and they never go to the people's committee of the commune to register. So so the statistic is not exact, and sometimes because of the administration, because of the bureaucratic and administration, sometimes they are not registered, and because it's too complicated to register, so they just ignore it, and they are left without any support from the government. So UNDP is trying to facilitate it by working with the Ministry of Labor, Invalid and Social Affairs, and we hire a company to develop an app so that everyone who has a computer or who has a smartphone, like anyone who has access to internet, can register through that app. In fact, it's not just the app itself, but it's like a digital platform. So we try to set up a digital platform for the ministry so that they can get the information from the information on people with disability in a most precise way. That is from the ministry, and from the people with disabilities themselves. If they have access to internet, or if they have their friend or family who have access to internet, they can ask them to register for them. So they can register in the system. For example, they can have their age, their condition of health, and then they can access the support through that. And when they register like that, and then the commune people's committee, they will the brand of the Ministry of Labor Invalids at the commune, they will verify the information, and they will issue the certificate of disability. We hope that they will issue the certificate of disability quicker, and they can issue online. And for that, the people with disability can access the support from the government. So we just try to use digital technology to facilitate the registration and the access to support for the people with disability. But the most important thing is people with disability have to use them, like to use the app, and or to use the online digital platform to register and benefit from that platform. So communication is very important in this case. Do you have any more information question?
Thank you very much, Vidlan, and also for responding to Kim's. I also see that there is one in the chat box, a very good, question about how, and I think it would be good for you to respond to this, because it's because of the pandemic, and it relates to the country office. May I read it for you, and then you will respond to it? I would like to ask you about some tips. Yeah. I would like to ask you about some tips on how to deliver the project, which cannot directly involve to crowd, because of the because in terms of the pandemic situation, the project usually working at policy level in the central government. How to keep or to tell the blog as interesting as the project that directly touch upon people in the field. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. I also struggle with that many times. And also in the lockdown, it's also difficult, right? So let me think, for example, as part of the COVID response, the government tried to provide a package of support for people. However, only people that have contract with the company or then can benefit from that. But in fact, in some country, in some locality, many people would be just work on like in informal sector, and they don't have contract at all. So they are left behind. They don't get any support. So, for example, we see that issue and we want to write a blog on that. But how we can tell that in a compelling way? Like we want to write a blog about that, and we want to advocate to call on people to support those informal people. So how we can tell about the story in the lockdown context, how we can write a blog. Then maybe as much as possible, if you can access some people, for example, like even your shipper or like the cleaner in your area, or if you have to go to the shop to buy food, then you can ask the seller, for example. Then because they are in the, like those people in the informal sector, you can ask them about their life, and then you can start your blog by saying so. Like this morning, I tried to buy some bread, and the lady who sell bread for me, she her income reduced like 50% or 40% because of the lockdown, but she said that she didn't receive any support from the government. And then you talk about, like you tell the story first, and then you talk about what the government should do. Like you tell about her story, and then you give some statistic, like in the country 70% of the people are working in informal sector, and many of them haven't received support from the government, and experience from those the other countries saying that Kani from Asia Regional Director of Asia Pacific say that universal basic income will have in this case, something like that. So to try to bring the big issue down to the people level, even though that you don't have the chance to go to the field. If you can make people on the ground are told because of the strict lockdown. One of the channel is that you can use the newspaper, like online newspaper or TV channel, but only those that you are very that you trust, like because we have a lot of channels, right? You have a lot of newspaper, so you only use those that you trust, and you give the source, clearly give the source, because just in case that it is not correct or it's not exactly like that, then you already give the source. For example, you said that today I read this article from this newspaper, or today I watched TV and there is a TV report about this and that, and then you tell what you think. So that is your blog. Can it be okay?
Thanks, Vidlan. I also have there might be follow-up question, but I also come up with also an interesting question from Janet. Then I would like to read it out. We sometimes undermine information to publish because we don't know if it will be exciting for people to read. So how can we categorize good stories to tell and those for just reporting? Thank you.
Yes, that is exactly my key message here for our session today. As M&E people, we have a lot of, as program people in general, we have a lot of good information, but a gold mine of information, but we don't share it enough. So if we use some tools to unpack it, like to use some tool so that it can be easier dissect. Like the tool here mean blog, or mean story, or mean photo with some statistic like infographic, and with quote card. So for example, infographic, before when I first saw an infographic, I thought that it's so difficult to develop and it's so complicated. But some infographic is, and then after that, when I look more into that and learn from other country, learn from other colleagues, then sometimes an infographic is just very simple. For example, I can show you this one. Like this one. For example, you have a photo of people working in construction, right? And then you may add into the photo some text, like 70% of workers suffer from COVID lockdown. And then you can add a graphic, like a graphic here, a graph here, saying that even though 70% suffer from COVID lockdown, but only half of them benefit from the government support, for example. So that can be an infographic. So just a photo with some statistic that you can unpack your information. Is that answer to your question, or you want to?
Thanks, Vidlan. It's really interesting. While I also invite colleagues to also raise hands and also speak, let me read one question that just come now from Padam. How do we manage technicalities in producing comm materials? Do all these poverty environment countries have their own comm staff, or this is not only to you but also to others? Please feel free to also raise hands, and you are all invited to also speak. Thank you.
Can I say first, and then I will invite other colleagues to share?
Yes,
so for example, like from our team, we don't have, in our poverty team, we don't have a comm people in the team, because the team is not big. I myself, as a country office communication people, I will cover that. But recently, because they see more need for communication, so they have they have asked me to recruit for them an intern, so the intern can help them to produce some product like communication product. But some other we have three unit, and the other 2 unit they are bigger, like governance and environment. They are bigger, so they have communication in the team, communication person in the team. So what I would like to suggest here is that with or without communication people, you still can communicate if you want, if you would like to communicate. So in case that you have communication colleague, then for example, before you go to the field or before you go to mission in a country, then you can ask your communication person if they can go with you. Then they can do everything, and you won't help them with the information because they don't have the statistic, they don't have the information, they don't know the issue and things like that. So you help them with that. But what if they are busy and they cannot go with you? In that case, you still speak to them and you still say that you would like to have a story after the visit, you would like to have a video after the visit, or you would like to have a photo essay after the visit, and then the communication people will tell you what to do when you are at the field. Apart from your work of assessment, of evaluation, then you just put a little bit extra effort, then you can have a story at the end. For example, if I was your communication person and if you go to me and say, please go with you, and I say, for example, unfortunately, I cannot go during that week, then I would discuss with you what you expect from the trip. For example, you expect a photo essay, you expect a story, or higher, you expect a video. Then I would tell you what you can do. For example, photo, you can take photo with your phone. A photo essay, you need quote from the real people as well. So you take photo of the counterpart of the beneficiary and then get quote from them. And then on the when you are back, you just send photo and quote to the communication person, and they will design the quote card for you. Yeah, like it's the same with the video. You can do it with your phone, or in case that you have budget and even your communication person cannot go, if you have budget, then you can hire a cameraman to go with you, or you can hire a local cameraman. So you ask your counterpart at the locality to hire a local cameraman for you to reduce the cost, and then you ask your communication person to list down what scene they would like to film, what interview they would like to get, and then you will act as a producer, and then you go there and the cameraman will help you, and then you will send everything to your communication people for their edit later.
Thanks, Vitlan, for sharing. I also see hands up from Mary. Can I also invite Mary to speak?
Yes. Mary.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is Mary Rusbigango from Rwanda, from PAIR Project. Thank you very much for good presentation, and sorry for joining late because of the other commitment. I just wanted to ask the advice from you that as much as you said that it's good, even if we may have the COM person who may not always be available to go with us on the field, of course we have to have the content with us. We have to have like the good quality picture. Now I can see the importance of having the good quality cameras, because sometimes we struggle to use our phones when you go to the field. But when we come, even at the point of normal reporting, we find that the pictures are not worth it. So here you can see again the importance of having the right equipment, especially the cameras. But I want the professional advice from you, because most of the time on those com issues, sometimes we get feedback, this is not enough, this is not good, this is not professional, but we just get on advice on how we improve, how we go about it. So don't you think that it is important, like for us who are beginning to jump on these things, especially like you use this infography, having the quality videos, is it maybe not good to hire, to contract the service providers who can sit with us at the very beginning? For example, I was thinking in the context of pair, we have done and we are doing some studies, and the big studies. We have some recommendation, we have some policy brief. I was thinking that it is wise to contract the service provider in this area. So we just sit down, we show what we have, and then we get professional advice and work with this person at least for the 6 months or 3 months, and then later we can catch up on what to report, where, and how do we organize the content, and or how do we pack this information. Otherwise, I'm afraid that if we want to do blog, to do stories, to do video, sometimes we may not do it well the way we want it to be. Thank you.
Yes, I think that this is very good suggestion. So if you have budget, then at the beginning of the project, you can hire, like you can have a long-term agreement. It is like a framework, not agreement, but a framework with the company. Like you can go through bidding and you identify the best company for this work, and then you can sign like a long-term framework in which you have specifically for example, if what if you want a video, what if you want a photo essay, what if you want an infographic, something like that. And then when you have the mission or you have evaluation coming, then you can ask them to go with you. And then yeah, I think it's a very good idea. And
Thanks,
it make your life much easier.
Thanks, Vidlan, and also thanks, Mary, for raising this. This is exactly what the global PA team is considering right now, and also in the next IWP. But right now, if you think that there are stories that it would deserve a good story, please also contact us, me, and we can work together. And the idea also the same. We will have. The idea is to have the local consultant who will do the interview and do either a short story or video. This is also good in that note. Please contact us. We are also willing to help and see the options. Thank you.
Yeah, may I also add that for the blog, yes, it will add to your workload. I understand that you are so busy and it will add your workload. But we also see some beneficiary, like benefit from writing blog. So if you write blog, you just write freely, and then you can send to your colleague. Or even your colleague who are native speaker, and then they can review for you, or you can send to your COM person if you think that they are very good at writing, then they can review and edit for you. And once you have the blog, and publish it. And so I think it's a very good way to communicate and sharing, and make known, because make yourself known by the network. Because I remember that our former regional director of Asia Pacific, he advised us that so for example, for young people who want to have a good career in UN, 3 things that you should pay attention is that know your value, develop network, and communication, both writing and speaking. So if you write blog, then people in the network know that you are very good at this, and then that is win-win. So it's both good for the project, for the organization, and good for you as well. So it's good to invest your time and resource for the blog. Thank you.
Thanks, Kitlan. I see also Richard's hands raising. You are invited, Richard.
Hi, Vietlan. Thank you so much for your presentation. Because we both are comms, so we know each other. We are in the comms team. So basically, my question is on the resource mobilization and the donors' visibility. Like a communication person, like we always do, like communicate, inform, and educate, and aware, and advocate on some issues. But like donors' visibility and resource mobilization is one of the important component of our job, like where we have to work on. But due to this pandemic, the previous participants also asked, like, how do we communicate during this pandemic? And my question is more focused on this donors' visibility. Like, for example, in context of Nepal, like we have more donors like EU, India, China, Finland, Switzerland. So but few donors are quite picky to have more visibility. For example, in example, I say EU, they want to be more visible in every context. So in this case, like in this virtual world, what we are doing is like, we are doing the normal activities, like general activities that we used to do in the past, but which is not feasible. We are switching it into the virtual interviews, like social media, live discussion, focused interviews. And we are also planning to do some the donors week type of thing, which headquarters is doing, so that we can focus more on the governance part or the poverty part or the donor specific communication in such a way. But still, like if Vietnam office have anything very innovative that we can also learn from your sites, and that would be very helpful. Thank you. Over.
Thank you very much. And that is what we have to live with, right? For example, the EU, they have their own format for communication and visibility. And then we have COICA, we have EU, we have Japan in our country, and they are very specific about communication. We also have other donors like Norway, Sweden, but they are quite flexible. But I would like to tell experience from our country office. Even though that in Vietnam, Twitter is not very popular. So most of the people are using Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. But we know that donors use Twitter, like our ambassador or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs back in their country, they use Twitter. So we have to invest our time on Twitter as well. So we have to prioritize Twitter because our donor use it, and we use the light content, like the tools that I just told you before. So we try to use light content as much as possible, so to make those posts more interesting and tag our donor. And one of the experience that we often do is, for example, if we develop, even though that there is no result yet, we just tell about, for example, there is an upcoming conference and it is funded by Norway, then we will do a short video, like a trailer, to a teaser to advertise about that conference. So in that video, we will feature our donor as well. So we invite our donor to speak about the upcoming conference, and Yes, because of the lockdown, we cannot have like image of film footage of the real people. Then we combine using real image and animation to make the trailer more interesting, and we include soundbite from donor to make the trailer more interesting. So yeah.
Thanks, Kitlan, for the sharing, which is very interesting, and I think it will be very beneficial to us. Any final questions or any comments before we close? Because I also don't want to keep you beyond the time, which is already 20 minutes. Any final comment or inputs from colleague?
Hi, hi, Len. This is Mehbooba from Bangladesh. Yeah, I would like to give you a big thanks for organizing this session. This is a very useful session, and I would like to thank anyone for presenting us her nice presentation and great tips and tricks how we can improve our communication. Actually, the thing is, all the tips and tricks are really helpful and very catchy, like, using all the communication tools like videos, short stories, case stories, success stories. These are always a great tools for resource mobilizing, for delivering our work to general audience. But actually, due to the pandemic, as most of our field works are held. So that's why it became difficult for us to capture this kind of materials, to collect this kind of materials to showcase our works. But yes, we are hoping that the situation will get better, and we will definitely use these tools for our future reference. And it was really a great learning opportunity for me. But in future, it will be really great if I can have some opportunities, as you have mentioned that I think few days back or previously you have organized trainings on op-ed and blog post writing. Actually, these kind of trainings are helpful. So I will look forward for these kind of opportunities to participate or join. And yeah, so we will try to keep our good work, and my heartiest gratitude to the team for supporting us continuously. Leland is always helping us, providing us information. So yes, and recognizing our work. I'm representing my team today, as you know, that they're busy in another training. So yes, my heartiest gratitude and thanks to your team, to the full team. It's our work. Thank you.
Thanks to Mehbooba and to all colleagues for your active participation today. And our special thanks go to the UNDP Vietnam Communication Lead, Ms. Nguyen Viet Lan, for sharing her experiences. You can always reach out to her or to me if you have any questions or any concern or any need any advice. We are there. We are just an email away from you all. And thank you very much to you all for participating in this sharing of experiences. Thank you, and look forward to see you in the next webinar. Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.